What's up everybody, it's Kiyodo, and welcome back to another SMT Dx2 video. Today we're here for another Gacha pull, and first off, just ignore the Bayonetta banners. Honestly, I don't even know if you want to pull on them, but sure, if you need the pieces, go for it. We're here for the 122 free summons, so checking out the rates on this banner. I believe that it went back to the old rates for superior summon files, so they're kind of like how it used to be back in the day, when the veterans had a really hard time pulling 5 stars at 0.5%, right? Okay, cool. So looking at the 5-star pool, let's say... Ooh, okay, so Reapers are in this pool. Heroes and Fiends are there as well, so you know what I'm looking for are Reapers and Huangdi if possible. Looking at the 4 stars here, Reapers are in there too, and honestly, those Reapers at 4 stars are really good. They have some interesting, unique abilities, so I'm going to be pulling on this, I mean, for free anyways, so we might as well. And I hear that the rates aren't so good, but then again, that's how it used to be back in the day, in case you don't know how it was like for us veterans. But in any case, we're going over through the list again. Ultimate Summon files, Superior Summoning files, and of course, the Special Summoning files here as well. I guess we can just do the Hellbund Summon too, because why not? We don't have any parchments or enough parchments for the Absolute Summon, so we're just going to skip that. And why don't we just go straight into this? 122 free summons. Give me something decent, please. I mean, I know it's free, but you love me, right? You totally... I don't even know what I'm... Let's see, okay, so it's a clear circle, of course. And that's fine. That is totally fine. You know what? We're just going to take all this fodder. And see if we can get anything for it. And if not, at least karma. Okay, you know what? As the first one, that's really not that bad. Let's keep going. So that was a 4-star. That was pretty nice. I didn't expect anything really. But that's better than all 3 stars, so yeah. And if I do see any demons in the pool, then anything that's really particularly good, then I'll probably point them out. Or in general, I mean, like, looking at Onikagura on Seitanta, it's not a terrible pull if you're trying to build that up, especially if you have a Zhongqi that needs leveling on that. So maybe not so terrible. Baihu though in red, probably not so good, especially because Madness is now a fusible skill that we can transfer. So I don't think you really need that, and yeah, we're just looking at fodder right now. That's fine, that's totally okay. It's free. What do you really expect? I mean, I've seen people get some really nice pulls on this, but then again, I also have very terrible luck with pulling, and I'm pretty sure you might have way better luck than I do. Looking at Divine Power. Power's really not even using that many summons when you think about it. Or nothing that you'd really use efficiently, so I think it's a kind of weird demon to throw in. It's a very low grade 3-star in that case. Osei though, I do keep them because Hades Blast as a transferable is really good. I kind of like that, especially if you are planning to use Hades Blast as a 6-cost skill. Super powerful. And yeah, 1 out of 10 with a 4-star, that's not bad. We're hoping for something more, of course. Let's just see how the gods roll the dice, honestly. And I don't even know if the way that the colors work with traditional summons. I know that there's a few mix-ups. I'm getting a lot of misinformation about whether you should see the gold lighting at the start, even though the first pull isn't a 4-star or higher. And then there's other things that are telling me like, oh yeah, if it's the lightning's yellow, then you have a protector demon. But that's not really true. It's if the circle's yellow, then you have one. But if the lightning's yellow, then that usually guarantees a 4 or 5-star. And if anybody wants to correct that, I know that you are. I know that you're gonna write that down in the comments section, even though I don't really care. But you will. The same thing with like all the spelling. You know what? I'm an American and we spell things the way we wanna. That's truly how it is. Freedom of speech. And Isis, I don't know. Like, we get Isis for free. You can just get it from farming Aragate. It's really like, those are just insta-cells. Unless you really need it, like a color or something. It's not like the lowest grade 3-tier, a 3-star, rather. But it is, like, no, something you really want. And again, like, Makami too. Like, Makami's really not using that many summons. I don't feel like I use them at all, or ever wanted to. Not even for, like, the lowest fusions. I have to find something very specific in order to make him work. And even then, so it's probably better in clear. A lot of the 3-stars are just overall better and clear to fuse up. because it just costs way less, unless you're looking for something specific, like a 4-star specifically to change color. Then might be okay, but you know, other than that though, you probably don't want to put a 5-star and a 3-star in the same fusion, because that's just really costly as is. I don't know why they would do that, but you can if you really wanted to. This is what we were expecting, right? 10 times 3 stars. But hey, that's okay. There's a lot of summons to go through, which is super nice. We still have 102 left. Now this is very generous of them. I didn't expect them to give any of these summons at all. Like, even though Japan got the summons, but that doesn't mean that we necessarily should, because we didn't celebrate necessarily the same holiday. But, or at least not the global version, so yeah, there's that. But that's cool. Very cool of them. Especially because if Japan gets it, then people are going to blab and say, hey, where's our free summons? I'm totally okay with that, because yes, I love free summons. Yeah, but these pulls though, they're just, a lot of them are just fodder. You know, Heat Wave though on Red Ilyanka is like pretty good. And again, spelling, or pronunciation rather, American, so don't care. But you could go ahead and write that if you want to. Scat hatches, I feel like some people have had some Scat Hatch teams work out for them, but you do have to invest in it quite a bit, and I'm not sure if you want to invest into that particular one. But, you know, there are some decent 3-stars out there, especially if you're looking at the multi-fusion, like Kin Mammon, for example. Really, really satisfying there. And Baihu too, actually. Baihu, Tam Lin, really good 3-stars. Really cheesy things that you can throw in there. Mothman, super cheesy, but amazing at what he does. With these summons though, oh my god. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. Purple Makara. Usually Makara gives good stuff, like Mind Break. I'm totally okay with that. Like, I don't even use Mind Break, but I know that it's one of the skills that I should hold on to in my gift box, just in case I do need it. But I wouldn't hold it in my main demon compendium, because that just takes up space. Like, why would I do that? That's dumb. Alright, we had one 4-star. Okay, well, as soon as I say that, perfect. Alright, let Karma hit. Yo, alright, so that's not the first one. As I just mentioned earlier, so the first pull, if it has the lightning, that doesn't mean necessarily that your first one's gonna have, what was it, Protector, like this. It means that eventually within the 10, you're gonna have a 4 or 5-star guaranteed. And we'll see that coming up. Yellow Circle did indicate that it was Protector for the first one, so it's kind of hard to really prove what I just explained. But you'll see. There's gonna be a 4-star in here somewhere. Guaranteed. I'm like super sure about that. And if I'm wrong, we have the recorded footage of me doing all these recordings, like all these pulls. And oh boy, yeah. And then I'd have to edit everything out, of course, because that's totally how you never lose in fights when you record them on YouTube, right? Unless you have a video that says I lost some fights. It's totally doesn't happen. I mean, if I look at PvP, I've been testing a lot of teams and they don't always work out. So yeah, I want to say that, you know, you do lose them even though you don't intend to, or even if you like thought you could win. But okay, so here it is. Gold Lightning, but Red Circle. There you go. Does that prove my point? Gold Lightning, Red Circle. So to that person who left the comment about the Gold Lightning meaning Protector, you might want to check yourself before you redirect yourself. But hello, Acid Breath. Oh my god. See, I've never pulled Acid Breath, Fog Breath, or Warcry. This is a first. And you know what? Out of those 3, this is probably the worst one. Oh man, I know it's a good skill, but why not Tarunda? Why does it have to do defense or evac? I mean, like, those are both good stats to decrease, but Tarunda's like the most important one to decrease of all of them. So Acid Breath, I don't know. I probably won't even throw that on Purple Ananta, even though that's what people do. Probably won't. If I have like a second or maybe like a third Ananta, I might throw it on that one. But otherwise, it's like, it's not really that worth it for me. Acid Breath is a good skill, nonetheless, and it works in some people's teams, especially if you're trying to kill them really fast, especially with a Fizz team. But I don't have Fizz units, as I've mentioned clearly before. So yeah. And Ha! To that person who tried to explain to me that gold lightning means protector. You wrong. That's right. I knew it all along. I've been fed so much misinformation on pulls and how you can guarantee certain things. But I'm pretty sure I had it down pat after like, I don't know, like 10 gacha pulls in. Again, there we go. There's the 3-star, but we did see the gold lightning appear. So there will be a guaranteed in here, and that doesn't always show up even though. Like on the first 10 that we did, the Bishamon 10, it didn't have a gold lightning to start on the 10 pull. So as you can see, it doesn't always happen, but you can get them. And it doesn't show like anything special like, oh, you have a 3-star. Nope, we switched it. You have a 4-star. No, they don't do that. They don't do that in this game. Like they don't do it like Fate Go does, where they trick you into thinking that you have something shit, but you actually have something amazing. They just give it to you. I mean, like whatever, no flashiness. Teal Sandalphon is an almost insta-sell. Almost! If Megaton Press wasn't in here. Oh, such a good skill. This is such a good transferable skill. I mean, it's 6 cost, and you increase the fizz rate on these crit up skills. So I think it's really good, especially if you're just looking for some crit rate, especially if you have a unit that has innate fizz pierce, or even if you don't. Like PvE, totally fine. Totally fine for those extra press turns. I think I've talked about Arya now before, and I'm pretty sure I have. She's a really good unit, honestly. More of a physical attacker in my opinion, because, you know, stat-wise. But no weaknesses is really good if you're just starting out this game, so even I would invest into an Arya Nod if I was making a new account, per se. Going through this, though, having at least one 4 or 5-star guarantee out of the 10, super nice and reassuring, knowing so, and ooh, Heatwave, love that skill. You know what, I have too many of those though, so I do have to sell it. But Heatwave, another thing, like Megaton Press, except cheaper. Pretty good skill for that. I like that. I remember when there was a meta where people would put Heatwave on Zhongqi, and that would totally throw me off if I wasn't using some sort of Repel Fizz. Unfortunately, he doesn't have Pierce, so that's quite unfortunate for Zhongqi, even though he's like really powerful as is, so you kind of don't really need it on him. And fast recovery. Now on the topic of that, there was some discussion in the Reddit Discord for Dx2 about whether you should put on recovery or if you should put on mask. I do prefer mask, but if you're planning to get hit by something like is gonna happen and you don't really have any sort of ailment removal, then maybe recovery is the way to go. Fast recovery, I don't know if it's that useful, but maybe better for things like charm and bind that don't stick that long, so that could be useful. Bloody Glee. Ooh, that's pretty nice. Even though I'd rather not even use those skills. I feel like Bloody Glee and Savage Glee are just something that you have on your demons because it came transferred, or like as a gacha skill. I just, I don't know. I don't feel like investing Glee into one of my demons. Unless, like, you know, Bayonetta does proc her passive off of crits. And that could be okay. But I don't really care about Bayonetta all that much. I think she's pretty good for PvE, but then again, it's also really slow when her second unique skill has to activate on turn 3 or later, which turn 3 might be too slow, and unfortunately that is what makes or breaks the character in a way. You can't really status ailment bosses that easily, and that's kind of what she does. Looking at these pulls though. Yeah, pretty standard. Nothing really here to note. I guess if you were like a super budget, you could go with Resist Charm, because, you know, Charm is somewhat meta still. It's really nice, and I feel like maybe Charm will be coming even stronger because of the way that Bayonetta works out, and maybe even Jean too, because her passive is super amazing, especially with all the evasion in this Fizz meta that we have right now. Ooh, Hellish Mask, baby! Red Zocho 10s. That's like a keeper for sure. You can't sell those. It's amazing. Well, I guess you could if you have like all the masks that you need. I'd say like 4. I carry like 4 of them in the gifts probably. I don't know. We'll have to see about that one. I do have a lot of Hellish Masks that I've saved over time. So I've been playing this game for a long time. Closed beta. And yeah, it's been a pretty long ride. They do a lot of reskins on events, which is pretty common for these types of mobile games where they don't invest heavily as a company into. But you know what? The content, the gameplay, pretty good. Pretty satisfied. I wish that they had free PvP where you didn't have to have a stamina for that thing. I do hate stamina in games, but it's just Very common in these mobile type games, huh? Should we go down the list? Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, ultimate summons. Even though these are like the cooler things to summon, save the best for last in a way. But oh well, who cares? Maybe you do. Prometheus, you know, I was thinking about this. I was thinking if Fire Boost could be thrown on to somebody like Cert. And I know people do that. They cover like Resist Ice and Fire Boost if you're doing them for like PvE. But for PvP, you can, you know, you can avoid covering your resistance. And you don't really need the Fire Boost if you have something like Auto Taruka. Which, yeah, you know, not everybody has, but you can. But Fire Boost, pretty good if you're just trying to boost yourself. Not bad. Somebody else can have Auto Taruka if that's the case. And that'll work out just fine. Newbies in purple is actually really good if you don't have other units to cover for that. So for PvE, Newbies is pretty awesome. No weaknesses to have to cover, so transferable skills are very flexible in that case. Cerberus though, not so much. Maybe in like red, I want to say. Like he's more of a physical attacker in that sense. You need accuracy on your brands. That's a whatever. And Odin Yellow, Resist Ice. That's pretty good. Although, again, I don't think I really need to cover that much. I don't really have demons that have ice weakness that I feel like covering. But overall, a really good unit, really expensive otherwise. I don't know if you'd change his color or anything. I don't know if you'd really use him, but you can. He's good as like a fusing demon, because he's such a high grade. Ooh. Succubus is not bad. You know what? Succubus is not bad because Mahamaran Karen. I really like that. So if you're trying to transfer that onto somebody, like your Alilat, for example, not bad. Or your Jean, or maybe even Bayo. I guess you could throw it on Bayo. She is sort of a support demon, although the AI for both of them don't really work out that way. So that's the ultimate summons. Kinda terrible, but you know, whatever. It's how things go. Purple Anubis might be able to use for fusions. I might need something in purple. Purple is like one of the best colors to have besides teal. And I think that leads us into Superior Summons. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. This is a really long pull video, you know? Just because there's so many summons, really. I'm trying to speak pretty quickly because I do know that there's a lot to cover. And there's a lot of space to fill as well. Oh, another Zocho 10 in red. Baby! I like that. So, Horus in purple has light boost. Oh yeah, okay, so I know that some people don't know this, and you should though. If you're doing PvE, especially if you're doing R-Gate, purple Horus, pretty useful in that sense. Doesn't have to be purple, but really good in that sense, especially if you're doing something like Sloth 10, I believe, for Brands of Sin. Purple Horse is a very good unit in that case, although the AI of recovery kind of messes with it a bit, so I don't really like having recovery or support units that aren't meant to do just that. And there is a few of those, it's kind of weird. Like Bayonetta and Jean, they should be support units, but they're not. They don't even have support skills on them, so it's like, it wouldn't affect them that much if you put that support AI on them. I feel like that's something that they should do with this game, actually. I've been thinking this for a long time. I feel like there's not much that they can do to change this game without making them do a whole bunch of work in like a rehaul. But there are some things that you can do to work around. Like, why don't you allow the players to change the AI? If a character has a terrible AI and you want to take it off recovery and make it an attacker, like for example, Ishtar is terrible as a recovery unit. Well, I mean, not terrible. Really good, but not what she's used for. Her main focus is to be an attacker with Mesopotamian Star, her unique skill. And it doesn't do that automatically. It really throws her off. It doesn't work. And although you could have a really strong Ishtar, you have to play her manually if you want her to work out for you. Teal Pazuzu though, oh man, super, super good. Use that in slot 10, use that in your Aether farming. Can't remember which one off the top of my head, but I'm sure that's somewhere. Someone's gonna write that somewhere in the comment section if not. And if not, then whatever, you can check that on your own. You can do your own research! I did my research. I did so many hours of theory crafting, fusion testing of things that could work out. Cheapest, most effective ways to fuse demons and farm them up. Man, that just takes forever. Took me hours, days, weeks, but A lot of research in this game. There's a lot of stuff to cover, so there's a lot of depth. It's why it kind of keeps me in this game, on top of the gameplay that's in here. Totally love the press turn system. Although some of the skills on certain demons, like Masakato, should probably be changed. What is this, purple? Ooh! Purple has Tetraka Shift, and that's something that you'd see on Cert, but it also has Auto Tarunda. Auto Tarunda is an amazing skill, so much so that you would go out of your way to put demons on with Auto Tarunda that you wouldn't otherwise use. Goku's really good though, support AI I believe, so that allows you to throw on things like Mahamaran Karen for that charm. Throws people off sometimes. It does use things like Fog Breath if you throw that on as well. Though Yellow does come with its own Fog Breath Awaken, which can be useful to you if you need that skill cost reduction. Mermaid. In purple, I believe was the good one, right? Yeah, Infinite Chakra. I believe that is a Sloth 10 Slave. Pretty useful for that, although a little bit lackluster in that case if you do have other units to cover it, like physical units like Yoshitsune, Huangdi, and Masakato work perfectly fine. Those are like the main three physical attackers in this game. Like, you could say Mara, but I don't know. She's... No, it is not that tanky. Kinda dies really fast, unfortunately. And the skill cost is a little bit awkward with the way that Mara works out. But Zhonghui, one that I missed, is not really a AoE attacker in that sense. You'd probably use it more for just Oni Kagura. But can be, like I said, Heat Wave. Really good to throw onto your Zhonghui, especially if you're using it for PvE instead. Another good Fizz unit, but probably not something you'd use for Brands of Sin, because it's mostly single target, unless you threw something on there. Oh, of course, these other pulls are just kind of lackluster, of course, but hey, whatever. We had 122 free ones, so that's not terrible. Also, that means a lot of karma, and the thing about that means that now that people are going to have a bunch of karma just offhand because of these free summons, I feel like we might be seeing a lot more archetype shifting because people can afford that now. And wow, gold circles on gold circles, man. Even though they're not 5 stars, or good, good 5 stars more specifically. I guess that's okay. It's not terrible. I should probably just click through these 3-star ones that are guaranteed. But we'll see how that goes. I'll see if I should. Because this is a very long video, I might as well do that. Probably should have started that at the start of the video. Gold Circle. Oh, well, I mean, Gold Lightning, rather. Resist Dark is like a whole reason for keeping Gurimakala. Gurimakala comes with Mega Boost. That is technically a unique skill because no one else has it. Charge and Might, which is interesting, which is kind of like Rebellion in that case. But a lot of weaknesses to cover, too many for a sense, which is why I think things like Orcus could probably go well on Gurimakala, especially with that tankiness. It's a physical attacker, but doesn't have Fizz Pierce. Again, makes you really hard to use in PvP. Savage Glue is kind of nice on purple. Not like you're going to really need that, though. Not like you're going to be using Gurimakala at all, though. Unless you have some sort of like, Makara Karen team that doesn't get broken. 5 elements, Makara Karen, same thing. Well, 5 elements, upgraded version, but same strategy in that sense. And then we're just gonna get a bunch of 3 stars, huh? That's what I'm guessing, at least. But having 1 out of the 10 being 4-star, pretty good. That's about rate. Standard rate. Or was it 1 in 20? Well, anyways, I don't really care. If only that Ares was in yellow. Now I have to sell it and or use it for Herculean Strike, because Herculean Strike is kind of nice on Zhao Gonggen. Which I don't even use, really. I think I use Zhao Gonggen for Deceit 10 Brands of Sin. And he's only in there because he has Null Fizz, and I'm not using another unit that has some sort of anti-fizz. So, he's okay. He's a good biker unit. If you have biker, which I've never ever pulled. So that's kind of a problem for me. I can't really use my Zhao Gonggen without the biker. Well, I can't use him effectively without him, more so. I've always did want to pull a Hell Biker though, and that's something that's been eluding me for a long time. White Rider has been eluding me forever as well. But I did pull one, even though it's not in the greatest color. I could shift it. It's not like I will though, because it's not that good of a unit. But maybe PvE I'll use him. If there's some sort of light weakness on top of needing to die instantly. Which usually is boss fights, I want to say. That case, White Rider might be okay. White Rider actually does really well to kill out those support demons in boss fights. But it is a 50-50, unless they have light weakness, so it's kind of difficult to use it. Is a chance. But then again, so is a lot of boss RNG. If you're not super OP, then RNG is a huge factor in boss fights. So I can't really say that's terrible of a skill. Either way, we're getting a bunch of these Makamis, which is just instant fodder. Thank you for that instant fodder, game. I know exactly what to do with it, now that I have no other options to use with it. And it's unfortunate that the amp skills for stats come in 1, 2, and 3. Because, why even have the other ones? It's not like you're really stacking those stats on, and if you did, what stat would you stack onto somebody? Because I guess Agility Amp does give you the ability to change your turn order around for certain demons without having to use brands or other things. So I guess that could come in handy, especially like Maitamas too. Maitamas may be able to help you out in that way. But, I don't know, you can only make people faster. There's no way to make people slower just yet. And if there was, holy crap, that would be an amazing thing to have. So yeah, maybe we'll see in the future, like some slow brands for slow teams. Since we already have double stance already, you can only get slower by using brands in that case, and that'd be interesting. I'd want to see that sort of meta. Slow meta. Although, you know, we are kind of in slow meta right now because Masakado exists, and then Masakado is meta until they nerf and or remove him from the game, which no, it's not gonna happen. Obviously not, because that would just make people quit. Especially if you're in the top 10 and be like, oh, I've used this guy to get in the top 10 and stay there. How dare you take him out? I don't need to earn it. I have Masakado. I'm lucky. Or rich, like one of the two. And again, this sounds like I'm just super salty. But honestly, I don't really care that much. Masakado's a great unit. And most likely he will get nerfed because of all the hate. So if you think that Masakado's gonna stay around to be OP forever, no, I don't think so at all. I think he's definitely gonna get nerfed. Like, he doesn't really need that crit rate on top of the insta-kill, for example, but he does. Or 3 shots at it, too. That's kind of a big thing. Like, 2 shots would be okay, with no crit. 2 shots, no crit, still cost 7. Or you could even increase the cost to 8 MP so that he can't use Vorpal Blade and Occult Flash in 2 turns, you know, with Divine Brands on, if you have Divine Brands on him for some reason. So yeah, there's that. See, any Gacha 4 stars, please! I need the good ones. No! Berserker God. Probably somewhat useful. 6 cost is a really good stat line. So is 7 cost if the skill is super OP. But 6 for these certain specific niche skills. Nice, I like them. I like them a lot. And this guy, man, I have so many of these. Oh god, that's okay though. Holy crap. I did not know that he came with Mediara Han. Wow, wow. That's actually really good to pull this. So Mediara Han, the upgraded version of Mediarama. But it costs 9. That's a big deal. Mediarama costing 8 is already a lot. So I don't know how that's gonna work out. 9 just doesn't work, even with Divine Brands on. Even though Mediara Han is a great skill, it's probably only something that you transfer onto somebody that has Mediara Han as their awakened skill. Unfortunate, but that seems to be how it is. So what is that? That was our 4-star pulls, guaranteed. Alright, so that leads us into the last ones, the very last pull of the day. Help unsummon, let's see if we get anything good. It's clear, it's 3-star, watch. Give me something, just like, fusible, please, fusible. Something worth... I don't know if you're worth fusing things onto... You have Mana Aid? What the heck? You have Mana Aid? A 5-star skill? This is a guy that I don't see very often. He has one weakness, Force, but that's easily covered. And Mana Aid. Oh man, that's weird. I guess he's a mage. Wow, okay, well that's a weird clear color. But that's how I pull. I mean, that's just luck, right? Some people did get things like Huang Di and Orcus and what was that? Persephone. All these like really cool demons, but nope, not me. No, I'm probably pretty similar to what you guys had in the comment section. So yeah, I don't know. Tell me about your pulls. See what you got from your 122 free summons. And yeah, this has been Kiyodo. I'll see you on the next video. Later.